They said humans were too dangerous, too unpredictable to fight beside. Entire galaxies feared them, not for their weapons, but for their madness. My name is Krylax Vaughn, alien anthropologist, and I was sent to prove them wrong, or confirm our worst fears. At the Arecibo Deep Space Array, technician Maria Santos decoded the alien transmission. As the words appeared on her screen, her pulse quickened. This wasn't diplomacy, it was a cry for help. She didn't wait. One call to Dr. James Morrison set history in motion. Within hours, the message reached the United Nations Security Council. Humanity, barely 2 centuries into the stars, faced an impossible question. Do we risk everything to save strangers light years away? Generals argued logistics. Politicians spoke of neutrality. But somewhere deep inside, an old flame stirred. The same stubborn spark that crossed oceans to fight tyranny, that rebuilt after every war and refused to bow. By dawn, Earth had made its choice. For the first time, every nation spoke with one voice. The monsters of Earth were rising again, not for conquest, but for compassion. Admiral Chen Lin stood before the United Earth Council, her gaze unshakable. The numbers were hopeless. 15,000 enemy ships against 200 explorers. It's suicide, someone said. Chun touched the holographic map, her voice calm and fierce. You think like them, she said. They conquer through fear and order. We fight through chaos and will. She showed them the scars of Earth's past: Verdun, Warsaw, New Tokyo, Stalingrad. This is who we are. When survival is at stake, we fight total war. If Earth surrendered, extinction would follow anyway. Our only choice, she said, is how we'll be remembered. Do we die as cowards who let billions burn, or as humans who reminded the stars why our species survived a death world? Her plan wasn't about victory. It was about legacy. Every battle, every sacrifice will be broadcast to the galaxy. Proof that the Korik could bleed. And that resistance was never futile. They've never fought an enemy who turns death into a weapon. Chun said, we are civilized by choice, and that choice can be revoked. The vote was unanimous. Earth was going to war. When humanity's fleet reached Zilurus Prime, the Korik Armada already blotted out the stars. Firestorms rained across the dying planet. War Commander Thawne, undefeated and unfeeling, hailed the newcomers. I have never heard of this Earth, he sneered. 200 ships? Are you insane? From the bridge of the UES Indomitable, Admiral Chun smiled faintly. We are human, she said. Perhaps that answers both questions. She gave them 10 minutes to withdraw. They laughed, and so began the battle that would change the galaxy forever. Remember, Chun told her fleet, our mission is not to win. It's to show the galaxy what happens when someone asks humans for help. The Phoenix Protocol activated total sacrifice. The Defiance rammed a cruiser and vanished in flame. The Vengeance, empty and burning, plunged into a cluster of destroyers, its reactor detonating in a chain of white fire. Commander Thawne watched in disbelief. The humans didn't fear death. They used it, and they broadcasted every second of it live across the stars, with a title burned into the feed. Remember Zilurus Prime. Humans do not forget. For 6 relentless hours, they burned the heavens. 437 enemy ships fell before the Indomitable was destroyed. Admiral Chen's final words echoed across the void. Tell them the monsters of Earth answered the call for mercy. Tell them the galaxy will remember. Her death became a supernova of hope. Uprisings spread through conquered worlds. Alliances once silent rose in shame and fury. And then came Earth's second message. General Morrison appeared on every frequency. The fleet that died at Zilurus Prime was our first response, he said. It was not our last. Parker yelled, Hold up. I'm not done with Darius yet. The brawl instantly resumed, as if the revelation of aliens was barely worth a pause. Juniper appeared again, completely unfazed. This way, she said, ushering us through a back door into a quiet alley. It's Portland, she shrugged. Last week a guy came in claiming to be Bigfoot's lawyer. She explained that Darius and Parker's fight was a monthly tradition between frenemies, a word meaning friends who are also enemies. Illogical, yet somehow perfectly human. She invited us back for karaoke night, assuring us it was less violent. We returned, intrigued, confused, and utterly fascinated. That night, we learned something incredible. Karaoke wasn't about performance. It was about vulnerability, about being awful together and laughing anyway. Then, without warning, Juniper signed us up to perform a human song called Bohemian Rhapsody. We were doomed. Before we could protest, the doors burst open. Real danger this time. A criminal gang led by a man called Maverick stormed in, cornering Parker. A knife gleamed in the dim light. This wasn't ritual, this was predation. But something changed. The entire bar, moments ago chaos incarnate, turned unified. Darius, Parker's sworn rival, tackled Maverick without hesitation. In that moment, I understood. Their chaos wasn't a flaw, it was their power. We broke our non-interference order. Drex became a one-man hurricane. Xandra moved like shadow and flame. And me? I panicked, threw a karaoke microphone at Maverick's head, and accidentally teleported myself and one of his men back to our ship. When I returned, it was over. Captain Tila had erased the gang's memories. The police arrived. The crowd cheered, not for aliens, but for their friends. Then the crowd demanded we sing.